Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is distributive property with fractions. So to do this correctly, remember that the top number is multiplying with everything that's in here, and then the bottom number is dividing everything. So this is going to be 2 times 7, which is 14, and then the 7 is going to divide. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So this multiplication ends up being 2x. 2 times 14 is 28, and then you have to divide by 7, so that's going to become 4. And now you've done distributive property with a fraction. Okay? This one over here is going to be factoring, meaning you're looking for what you can divide out. There was a distributive property that occurred, okay, and you're trying to figure out what it was before. First, with the numbers in the front, you're just looking for something that divides perfectly into the first two numbers. The largest number, to be more exact. So the largest number that divides into 5 and 10 is 5. So 5 is going to be on the outside. Then you have to figure out how many x's and how many y's does this parenthesis have in common? Okay? So I'm going to stretch it out so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is going to be x, x, y, 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 plus 2 x, y, and y. So what you're looking for is how many x's they have in common. This one has 2 x's, and this has 1 x. Many people say they have 3 in common. That is not what I mean by in common. How many does the first one and the second one both have? What's the maximum they can both say they have? And that is 1x. So 5x is what I'm pulling out. Now, how many y's do they have in common? This one has 3 in common. This one has 3 and this one has 2, which means they have 2 y's in common. So it's going to be y squared that I'm pulling out of the problem. So the final result is going to be x, y, plus 2. Because I removed 1x and I removed 2 y's. I removed 1x and I removed 2 y's. And that's your final answer. If you were to do this distributive property, you would end up with this up here. All right, third one. So this one here. So solving this is just like solving a two-step equation. You're subtracting 8 on both sides. So negative 5x is less than or equal to 15. Then, to get rid of the negative 5, you have to divide everything on both sides. But because I'm dividing by a negative number, okay, it's going to cause the inequality to change directions. Okay? So now, this is your final answer. So you're looking at the number line, you're looking for negative 3. Now, it's not an open circle because it has this. If it doesn't have this, it is an open circle. But because it has that, it's going to be a circle filled in. All of the x's, or all of the answers, are going to be greater than negative 3. So that means all the answers are in that direction. Okay? We have 2 more topics to go over, and then we're going to be done. So, the first one here, if I have a triangle, and one side is 5, and the other side is 8, what are all possible scenarios for the third side of the triangle? So you would subtract these to get the smallest number. So 3 is the lowest x can be, the mystery number here. Then you add them together, and that gives you 13. So this third side can be any number between 3 and 13. It cannot be 3 and it cannot be 13. It has to be one of the numbers between them. Now, let's say they give you triangles and ask you which ones can make triangles. You just add up the 2 smallest sides and check if they're larger than the third side. So 3 plus 1 is 3 plus 1 greater than 5. If the answer is no, then this is a no. Is 2 plus 6 greater than 7? Yes? So the answer is yes. Now this one tricks some people. Is 3 plus 5 greater than 8? It equals 8, but is it greater than 8? No. So this is also going to be a no. Now we have one more section to go over, which is triangles. Actually, we have angles and then triangles, so I do have 2 more. I'm sorry. So, complementary. Remember the saying, I compliment you because you are right? Meaning, complementary is 90 degrees. So that means this plus this equals 90 degrees. So you put this together with that, and that would make 10x plus 20, because I added the 5 and the 15. So now it's just a two-step equation that I know equals 90 degrees. Subtract the 20, 10x equals 70, divide by 10, x equals 7. Now the only difference between complementary and supplementary is that instead of equaling 90, it would have equaled 180, and then you would have solved the problem just like that. Same exact work, just instead of equaling 90, it equals 180. So supplementary and complementary. Complementary is 90, and supplementary is 180. What comes first? 90. What comes first in the alphabet? Complementary. Supplementary is 180. That comes after 90. Supplementary comes after 90 in the alphabetical order. Okay, so let's keep on going. The last problem is just triangles. There are 3 types. These 2, I think you guys have no problems with. This one's more of the issue, but just in case, I'm going to go over all 3. So every triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. So I don't know what this number is, but whatever it is has to make this equal 180. So I know 80 plus 40 plus the mystery has to equal 180. So if I add these 2 together, I'm going to get 120 plus the mystery equals 180. A lot of you already know the answer, because you know that 60 plus 120 is going to equal 180. If you don't, let's say it's like a decimal point or something, you would just subtract 120 from both sides, and you'll see that x equals 60. So for this example, x equals 60. Now for this one, remember that the exterior angle is the sum, meaning you add up, the 2 angles that it's not touching. So it's touching this one, so not that one. It's not touching these 2, so if you add them up, you'll know what that angle equals. So 80 plus 70 will make 150, and that's your final answer for that one. Then, over here, so this one's a little bit odd. Every single angle actually has an x and a variable in it, which would throw a couple people off. But a triangle adds up to 180, okay? So 4x plus 3x plus 3x. So if I add up all the x's, I'm going to get 10x. And now there's only actually one number. If there were more numbers, I'd add them up and combine like terms. But I'm ending up with this. And I know that this has to equal 180. I subtract 10x equals 170. I divide by 10. X equals 17. Now, knowing that x equals 17 doesn't answer this problem. They want to know what angle B equals. So what I have to do is plug in 17 into angle B. So instead of 3x plus 10, now it's 3 times 17 plus 10. So that's going to be 30 plus 21. So this is 51 plus 10, and that's going to make 61. So I know that this angle equals 61. And that's it. Thank you.